Is clinical depression a thing, or is there a way to get out of it without medication?
Yeah, well, we pathologize. We pathologize too much. I think it's very good to make the diagnosis that doesn't have to pathologize, like I'm sad, I'm scared, to use the language that it doesn't have to go to diagnosis and medical. Medicine is important, We have our blood, and that needs to be hopefully well tended to.
Yeah.
We have our environment, but the way you respond to the other two, I have a choice. To respond or react. When you react, you don't think.
How does someone learn how to pause when there's an event, when there's a trigger?
Take a deep breath, and if that doesn't work, take another deep breath.
Keep breathing until you react.
Keep breathing, because you cannot change what's outside of you.
The environment, the event, what occurs.
You really are very powerless, but you have power the way you choose to take the negative and turn it into positive. Because suffering makes you stronger. Suffering is part of life.
Is there a way to minimize suffering in our lives?
You learn from history, so you won't repeat it. Yes. That's why it's good to write a book. Write a book. People told me for years, write a book, write a book. And I would say, I have nothing to say, I have nothing to say. But then Philip Zimbardo one morning calls me and says, Edie, the people who survived and are famous are all men. We need a female voice. And that's my book, The Choice.
Right.
A female voice of Viktor Frankl.
Wow, it's beautiful. You mentioned, I want to ask you about the fears again, writing down a list of your fears and then knocking them down. What happens internally when we start to knock these fears down and
you replace it with something else. See, when you're in a car and you have to switch gears, it talks to you, the car. So what you need to do is switch gears and release the clutch. What are you holding on to? My definition of love is the ability to let go. Let go. Don't live in the past. You cannot change the past. That's one thing you cannot change, is the past. I don't live in the past. I don't forget it or overcome it. That's why I call it my cherished wound, because part of me was left in Auschwitz, but not the better part, not the bigger part.
How do you reclaim that part from that?
You go back to that place, and you can do it in your office with a Gestalt chair. Put them in that chair, tie them up, and beat them up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
How could you do this to me? I was only 8 years old, and you get it out, scream it out, and beat them up.
If we don't get that emotion out, then we're the ones that suffer, right?
Yeah, because forgiveness has nothing to do with me forgiving you for what you did to me. I don't have any godly power at all, but I do have a power to look at everything that happened into an opportunity, for an opportunity. And that was Auschwitz, the biggest classroom, the most important one I have gone to.
Wow. So, do we need to forgive the person that created the pain? Do we need to forgive ourselves? What is harder?
I think we create a time when I give myself permission. That's a very good word.
Mm-hmm.
Give myself permission to let go of the pain and replace it with self-love, which is self-care, which is not narcissistic.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself is not narcissistic.
Yeah. So give myself permission to let go of the pain from the past.
Permission is a key word.
And then replace it with self-love.
You know, if I could meet Dr. Mengele now, I really wanted to meet him, and I found out where he was, but I never really ended up meeting him in person. He went to South America. Most of the Nazis went through the Roman Catholics, somehow helped them to go through them to go to South
America.
America.
Yeah. What would you have said to him? If you could have met him, what would you have said to him?
I would probably tell him, I have no idea what I would have done if I would have been in your shoes. You must have felt very powerful, sending my mother to the gas chamber, because he asked me, is this your sister or is this your mother? I still want to cry, but now that stupidly I said it's my mother, because I could not forgive myself that if I would have said my sister, she wouldn't have gone to the gas chamber. But then I had to recognize that I did what I could.
No, you did the best.
And I did the best I could.
Yeah.
So forgiving yourself and not to judge yourself, you got to really, truly do the work.
Yeah. That's powerful. I'm curious.
Suffering is make you stronger.
How much?
Don't ask for it.
I don't want suffering.
Please.
you don't need to ask for it.
It's not a must. No.
No. But it makes you
But when
stronger.
it happens, recognize that it's temporary.
Yes.
And you can survive it. So you become your own good parent.
Yes.
Are you a good parent to you?
Now I am. Yeah.
Okay.
After a lot of the healing work,
Yeah.
now I'm a very good parent to myself. Yeah. I feel a lot of peace inside.
Well, you're
But I
a
didn't
role
feel that for
model.
years. Yeah.
You say what you live.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. It's a constant journey,
Congratulations.
Thank you. But a lot of the first time I interviewed you, I was really inspired by how you shared so much wisdom about how to not take things personally and how to reinterpret when someone's saying something to you, just say, no, well, you're saying the opposite to yourself of like how you love yourself and how you're generous and kind. So I really appreciate that.
Well, just a very simple question. Whatever you're doing now, you ask, how is it working for you?
Yeah.
Is it empowering you or depleting you?
So you said anger is something that...
Not a primary emotion.
It's not the primary. So when someone feels anger, what is it they really feel?
Fear.
Afraid of what?
Fear of being found out.
Ooh.